Whoa! What a game. It's being hailed as game of the year. Definitely for the Rangers, possibly for the league. Rangers Flames. With 2 Hedl goals, 2 Zibanejad goals, a Lafreniere OT winner, and 2 massive Trouba hits. Let's break it down. Hi everybody, I'm Rangers Rando, and welcome back to another episode. Let's go. Starting with the Flames are kind of on the cusp this year. They lost 100-point scorer Johnny Gaudreau and 100-point scorer Matt Tkachuk. They received 115-point scorer Jonathan Huberdeau, who really hasn't found his fit yet. And I know the Daryl Sutter Flames really would like to get him going so that they can make a push for the playoffs. They're in a lower wild card spot right now. I think they have just about the same amount of points as the Oilers, but can never count them out. Jacob Markstrom is a great goaltender. They have some good depth in defense, and when their offense gets going, it can be lethal. And you could also tell, they have some big guys. They have Lucic and Tanev that are big dudes that aren't afraid to hit. So I was thinking it would be a test going into this game. Scoring starts out with who else but Phil the Thrill. Philip Hedl. Just takes it down the right side and fires it far side, beating Markstrom. Really quick shot that I think just surprised Markstrom a little bit and beat him into the net. Then, we have Halak in net for this game. I think it was Blake Coleman comes down and is just jamming the puck into Halak, and it somehow squeaks through. I don't blame really Halak on this play. I think that's something that the defenseman has to clear out. It's goals like that happen. It's a bounce. It's a bad bounce. Whatever. After that Coleman goal, it's kind of back and forth, and Trouba lines up Dylan Dubé right at the blue line. It wasn't a dirty hit. It was a hard hit, and honestly, it wasn't as hard as the hits that I've seen Trouba make before, but Chris Tanev took issue with that hit and pretty much jumped Trouba into a fight, and you could see Trouba's just filled with emotion. This is what the captain of the New York Rangers needs. What we really would like is if he wasn't paid $8 or $8.5 or whatever million a year, because he doesn't score at that 50-goal season that he had that one time. But he is the life and energy of this team, and you could see it in these hits and in these fights. And it really, I think, got the guys going. And by the way, that caused a penalty for the Flames because of this instigator rule. Jacob Trouba makes a clean hit. There's no reason by the rules of hockey, of the NHL, should he have to then fight because he made a clean hard hit on someone. So the rule is, if someone instigates a fight, it's called the instigator rule, after a hit like that, it's automatically, 5 for fighting for each, but then an additional penalty. And that happened to Chris Tanev. Rangers didn't capitalize on it, but Tanev goes to the box. Then, shortly into the second period, Philip Hedl steals it again. Muffed pass by the Flames defender, and skates it all the way down and beats Markstrom 5-hole this time. I think Markstrom probably was thinking he'd take a quick wrister up high or middle of the net, and Philip just beats him with his speed. I think there was a graphic that said he got up to 22 miles per hour, and with a quick shot right under the pad. Then later in the period, the Rangers take a too many men on the ice penalty. Panarin kind of jumped the gun a little bit, jumped off the boards too early, played the puck, and Gerard Gallant, you could see, was not happy. He was like, Bread, serve it, because he was pissed at him. Usually, the coach will have a say in who they send to the box on a bench minor like that, and usually you wouldn't put one of your star players in there, but I think he was pissed at Bread and he wanted to send a message. That was stupid, and you should not have done that. So, from there, Flames are controlling, and Tyler Toffoli scores on, it was a really screen shot for Halak, but it went far side high. Good shot, got through traffic, not much you can do there. Bad penalty, though. Then, game's going on. Flames are transitioning into the Rangers zone. Kadri takes it over the blue line, gets it down to the half point of the circle on the right side, tries to cut in, and choo-choo train, Trouba lights him up, helmet flies, which at first looked really bad. But upon replay, you could see it was just all of Trouba's weight went into the chest of Kadri, and the motion of getting hit back flung the helmet off. It wasn't, usually when you see a helmet come off, it looks like it'll be an elbow or something high to the head. This was full impact to the chest and shoulder, flew the helmet off. Trouba kind of stands there looking at Kadri like, what, you gonna fight me now? I freaking lit you up. Kadri stands up, starts getting back to the bench, but then Dylan Dubé, who Trouba hit earlier in the game, comes over, jumps him, and this is with a minute left in the second period. Trouba fights Dylan Dubé. Dubé is a much smaller guy than Trouba, and Trouba kind of just pummeled him and put him to the ground. And then, back. Thank you, Captain. Thank you. Back to the box with both of them. But if you remember, the instigator rule Dubé jumped in and instigated the fight against Trouba when there was no real reason to besides a nice clean hit. That causes the Flames to get a penalty, and Gallant puts the number one power play unit out. They are shooting, they're passing, they're trying to set up Mika on that far side above the circle, but it gets a little messed up. They swing around, and then a nice play, little play in front of the net from Kreider. Backhand no look through traffic and to Mika. One-timer low, though. It was like pretty much below the circle. So that instigator penalty that Trouba drew causes the Rangers to go up 3-2. Then going into the third, Rangers are up 3-2. It's kind of a back and forth game. The Flames are making a push, and a puck is thrown far side, and Andrew Mangiapane tilts his skate to deflect the puck, which is legal. You can deflect, you can't kick. What it looked like is he's skating towards the net, and he turns his skate like this, and then it looked like he lifted it, which to me would be the kicking motion. So Halak is obviously freaking out. He's like, it went off his foot, he kicked it, he turned his thing, and then lifted. Upon review, good goal. So a little bit of contention there. That's where it gets kind of into a gray area. And after that, so it's tied 3-3. Then the Flames are using this momentum. They enter the zone, dish it back to Michael Stone, who just unloads a bomb like a howitzer from just over the blue line past Halak. None of these goals I really felt Halak would need back. There's a couple that, they just beat him because of a bounce or because of off the foot. This one was just a rocket, like well-placed shot. You got to give Stone the credit and not take it away from Halak's performance, because I think Halak had a lot of really good saves. But so that puts up the Flames 4-3. What you then have is the Rangers doing anything they can to find some offense, and it eventually comes from the Panarin and Mika Zibanejad top line. A puck is thrown deep onto the left side. Panarin picks it up, and it looks like he's about to go fully around the net, but right as he gets to the point of no return behind the net, he dishes a backhand that goes right out into the slot, right to Mika Zibanejad's stick, who one-times it top far corner over Markstrom to tie the game. Those two, if they can get cooking, our best center and our best winger, if they can get cooking on that top line, it's kind of been like off and on with them. That's a danger for everyone in the league. So the Rangers are able to hold on. It's 4-4. They're able to hold on going into overtime. Smartly, and he hasn't done this before, Gallant starts Hedl with Panarin and Fox. Hedl has proven over the last 10 games that he can handle the pressure, and he is Mr. Clutch. And he has a chance to score his hat trick, right? Him and Panarin make some amazing opportunities that Markstrom gets a piece of and saves. So for the first minute or so of overtime, Hedl looks like he's going to score. Markstrom stops him. Then, surprisingly again, Gallant puts Lafreniere out, who Lafreniere, up until this point in the game, has been noticeable. He's been making hits, he's been making good passes, and you could see this confidence is rising in him being on the line with Hedl and Kakko. So he's out there with Zibanejad, and I think Keandre Miller, and Flames take a shot. Halak blocks it down. It goes right to Lafreniere's stick as he's turning and crossing over. He skates it up. It's a 2-on-1. I thought he was going to shoot it right there, but he passes to Zibanejad, who then shoots, and it gets a rebound off of Markstrom, but Markstrom, to get over to Zibanejad, had to slide all the way over out of the crease, and thankfully Lafreniere didn't skate past the net. He stopped or turned quickly to get back in front of the net to shoot, and it kind of was just like a bouncing puck that, again, Markstrom got a piece of, but it got under him for the game-winning goal. And if that's not a confidence booster for Lafreniere, I don't know what is. He's being put in these positions where he can thrive as our number one overall. This game was probably, so far this year, the hypest game that we've seen. The fights, it had everything. It had a comeback win. It had an overtime win from your first overall pick. It had 2 major hits. It had fights. It had decent goaltending. Even though the score is 5-4, there were some great saves. And that is your game of the year. Thank you for joining, everybody. I'm Rangers Rando again. Please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, tell your friends. Thank you, everybody. Let's go, Rangers.